One father is calling out Republicans that are using his family tragedy to score political points. So we're talking here about Nathan Clark, the father of Aiden Clark. So Aiden Clark tragically was killed in a car crash after a Haitian migrant driver sideswiped a school bus. And the death of Aiden Clark has been cited endlessly by the right in a very opportunistic way that the father of the slain child has no interest in. So he ended up saying, "I wish that my son, Aiden Clark, was killed by a 60-year-old white man. I bet you never thought anyone would ever say something so blunt. But if that guy killed my 11-year-old son, the incessant group of hate-spewing people would leave us alone." And in particular, he singled out JD Vance. He's cited him as someone who has spoken my son's name and used his death for political gain. He said this: "I will listen to them one more time to hear their apologies to clear the air. My son Aiden Clark was not murdered. He was accidentally killed by an immigrant from Haiti. This tragedy is felt all over this community, the state, and even the nation, but don't spin this towards hate. They can vomit all the hate they want about illegal immigrants, the border crisis, and even untrue claims about fluffy pets being ravaged and eaten by community members. However, they are not allowed, or have they ever been allowed, to mention Aiden Clark from Springfield, Ohio." And if you're wondering why is he focusing on JD Vance, well, it's a reference to these sorts of messages. So this is JD Vance talking about, "Oh, I totally heard all this stuff about dogs and cats and pets being used for food, whatever. Do you know what's confirmed? That a child was murdered by a Haitian migrant who had no right to be here." And there's a lot of that. The Trump war room, his Twitter presence, put out this: 11-year-old Aiden Clark was killed on his way to school by a Haitian migrant that Kamala Harris let into the country. Kamala Harris has refused to say Aiden's name. Lauren Boebert also said, "Will the border czar apologize to Aiden Clark's family tonight at the debate? She let his killer in." And all of these people suck. But in particular, Lauren Boebert, you were really focused on defending the honor of the family of Aiden Clark. And in fact, you think apologies specifically are warranted if you violated that honor. And thus, now would be a great opportunity for you to apologize, because the father's been very clear that he doesn't want all of you ghouls and troglodytes politicizing the tragic but also accidental death of his son. And you'll notice all of them, they are so desperate for migrant crime that they take a situation like this, which is a tragedy, even if accidental, and they're like, his killer. They're implying that this guy found Aiden and was like, white child, and then ripped him to shreds or something, because that's the image they want their white base to take away. The idea that there was a tragic accidental car crash, that's not as good. That's why they're not mentioning it. That should be fairly clear. What do you think?
They're disgusting. And you would think that I felt something as you were reading what the father is really pleading with them to stop. I felt something. And it's not who I am, so I just can't understand Boebert and the rest of them, and JD. And that's why, I know we talked about the debate a little while ago, but that's why I think Tim Walz they're both smart guys, right? But when they have that debate, one of them is gonna step forth, not perfect, but somewhat pure. He's just gonna represent, and the other one's gonna be asked to just remember so many lies and so much trash. And I don't care how smart you are, Harvard, I don't know how you can defend that in a credible way, in an empathetic way. It's gonna probably be palpable right through the screen.
By the way, Tim Walz, if you're watching, and you're not, you have to mention that, because he's going to talk about migrant crime. He's going to reference this. You on stage have to tell him, the father has asked for you to apologize. I think now would be a great opportunity for you to do that. You got to do that, Tim Walz. Come on, and you're savvy. I think that you might well think of that. But just imagine you suffer. Like I have a young child. The thought of her dying in any way is utterly unacceptable. But imagine, insult to injury, the worst people in the country use that death in a dishonest way to score political points. Utterly reprehensible. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.